Hey guys, Darin Nakakihara here. Welcome back to Teacher Tech Tuesday. Okay, so school is about to begin, and where do you start with technology? Do you just dive right back in, or are there some steps that you should be taking before? There's absolutely some steps that you should be taking before, and so today's show is about digital citizenship. My own class, I always start them off with a really rigorous unit on digital citizenship that they have to pass if they want to get on a device. And that's some true motivation for most of my kids. And today's show is brought to you by a question that from last Tuesday from the Mrs. CJ, who writes, I teach high school, and I find that every year I get in a trap of assuming most kids know proper tech use by the time they get to me. But it's an area that truly needs differentiation so I can properly meet everyone on their level and bring them to where they need to be. Great comment. Let me just tell you that if this is like a combined effort, guys, all of us teachers need to get together, regardless of what grade we are, and really emphasize the importance of digital citizenship. Because by the time they get to high school, they need to have a solid foundation of knowing what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, right? And so if we start at the very beginning in kindergarten and we teach them every single year, imagine by the time they get to high school, they're going to have some really, really strong ethical morals and behaviors and a really strong foundation of digital citizenship, right? Right. So it's our responsibility, regardless of what grade we're teaching, to really empower these kids to be good digital citizens in this world that we're living in now. Because, you know, a lot of teachers and a lot of parents, we just hand these things over to them and we expect that they're digital natives, right? And they know how to use stuff. It's pretty intuitive to them because everything's kind of designed the same way now, but they don't know right from wrong. They don't understand that everything that they do is leaving a digital footprint, for example. Every school district should have an acceptable use policy. It's known as an AUP. And in this AUP, it lays out all the guidelines for technology use in your school district. I like to think of an AUP as what the students should not be doing. In my own classroom, we make an RUP, a responsible use policy, and a lot of school districts have that as well. A responsible use policy is laying the expectation of what your students will do while they're working with technology. And so what we do in my classroom is we create a responsible use policy together by having a discussion about really, what should things look like in our classroom when we're using technology? What are some reasonable expectations for our class and for your students? Trust me, they will come up with higher expectations than you ever thought possible when you bring them into the discussion and you start building things around what they find acceptable and unacceptable. So I highly recommend you getting with your classroom and you creating these RUPs together, writing them down, charting them on paper, and putting them up on the wall as a statement as to what your expectation is as a classroom for using technology. Class created RUP. ISTE is an organization that has created standards for both teachers and students. And you can go to their website, I'll link it below, and check out these. They just redid them this year. Check out these standards that there are for students and for teachers, and make sure that you're aligned with these standards because they've really gone through them with a fine-tooth comb and come up with some great standards for us to go by. if you're looking for some kind of curriculum for digital citizenship or just responsible use of technology, I like to use one from New York, and I'll put it below. What I really love about this is that it's broken down by grade, and the standards are, it's aligned to standards, and every single grade builds on the next grade on what they should be teaching to their kids as far as technology and responsible use and digital citizenship. So check that one out. It's below. This is a great one, and no one ever talks about this one. I don't know why. It's so wonderful. It has lessons in it. It's aligned to standards, and it's broken down by grade. So what's not to like about that? I don't know. Now there's a whole bunch of other ones that you can just search online for. Common Sense has a good one that's broken down by grade chunks. So I think it's like K1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and it goes all the way up to 12th grade. You could check that one out as well. I don't let my students touch technology until they've gone through and passed some quizzes on this digital citizenship foundation that I'm trying to lay for them, because I want them to really know how serious it is and how important it is to me that they operate as good citizens of this digital world that we're living in. And I'm hoping that the foundation that I'm laying is going to help them when they get outside my classroom and they're working, they're just on their phone or their iPad at home and they're working on stuff. I want them to be aware that things are happening around them that they need to be aware of. Along these same lines, I'm going to be interviewing a patent attorney, and he's going to be talking to us about fair use as far as teachers are concerned. And so it's really important for us as educators to know what is legal, what is illegal. Are we doing things right? Are we doing things wrong? If you have a question about, gosh, I wonder if this is really legal, like you're showing a movie on a rainy day or something like that, is that covered under fair use? You use a graphic on one of your TPT products, is that legal? I don't know. Let's ask this guy. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll make sure that I ask him when I interview him. It's going to be really useful because, I don't know a lot of the things for sure that I should be doing. I know that I shouldn't be using pictures unless the usage rights are available to me to use. But beyond that, I'm really unclear on what is considered fair use, because we get a little leeway as teachers, but I don't know, man. We should probably be a little more. We should probably be a little bit more educated about what is fair use, so that we're not breaking any laws and we are models of good digital citizens for our students. Right? Right. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe below and like this video if you like what you saw today. And if you have anything that you'd like to talk about on Teacher Tech Tuesday, write it below. This one came straight from the comments. Okay? Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you next week.